What is up, you guys? International Passport here again for another video. I hope you guys have been staying safe, keeping cool, keeping healthy, and of course, making your passport applications. If you're new to my channel, I will always advocate for brothers to get their passports. Getting your passport will liberate you. Getting your passport will enable you to see new cultures and, of course, to meet beautiful, dime, intelligent, feminine woman. Now, in this video, I want to talk about why black men should move to England, London specifically, or why black men should consider moving to London, England. There are many reasons as to why you want to leave your home country. If you're a black American male or a black Canadian male in America, Canada, respectively, and you want a new scene, you've had enough of America or Canada, you want to live in a new country, I do suggest that you consider England. And when you do consider England, definitely consider London. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because I've had some messages, in my social media accounts, saying that, bro, would you advise moving to London? I'm tired of America and so forth. So I made a video a couple months ago about moving to Morocco, and talking about why black men should move to Morocco and all that stuff. So if you're thinking about moving to, let's say, Morocco, in a country similar to that, I suggest that you check out that video. But in this video, I want to talk about London specifically in England and why black men should consider moving to London, England. The first thing I want to talk about, and it's very important, is jobs. It's the job market. It's how the jobs are for specific industries. Now, London is an international city. It's massive. It's big. A lot of people live here, but there are a lot of opportunities in London. Now, but it depends on what industry you work in. Okay, if you work in the legal industry, if you're a lawyer, if you're a banker, especially if you work in the financial industry, you deal with finance. If you work in the IT industry, if you work in, let's say, the medical industry, London is the place for you. Within those industries, there are a lot of jobs in those industries for brothers. I've seen a lot of brothers do well in London, working in those industries. So speaking about the job market here is great in London, especially in those industries that I mentioned. They pay well. London does pay well. They pay very high salaries, especially in those specific industries. So when you're thinking about moving to London, really think about what job you want to do and what skills you have. Because you can do very well in London working in one specific industry, especially the finance industry. I know a lot of brothers who do well in the finance industry, who have very good jobs, earning a lot of money. So finance, IT, legal, medical, you will earn a huge amount of money in those industries if you work those industries in London. So that's very important to consider when moving to, a whole different country and a whole different city. The second point I want to talk about is, how will you be treated here as an American? I am happy to say that if you're an American, you will be treated very well here in London. In fact, you will be worshipped. Americans are very highly regarded here. If they find out you're American, in shops, in your job, you will get a lot of attention, a lot of opportunities. In England, especially in London, we seem to, want to be immersed in American culture. American culture is all over TV, it's all over the news, and people mostly speak about American news. So if you're worried about you being an American and how you'll be treated here in London, Don't worry about nothing. You will be treated very fine. In fact, certain people will even worship you because you're American. Girls will go after you because you're American. Girls will want to sleep with you because you're Black American. It's as simple as that. Americans are perceived as, high regarded people in this country. So if you're American and you're worried about that, don't worry. Okay? English people love American people. Now, I want to talk about the woman, of course. I'll be dropping another video where I go as to how London is a hotspot for American brothers, but I'll just make this very quick and snappy in this video. The women in England love American men, specifically Black American male. You will be chased after. Your dating online profiles will be popping, especially if you use Tinder and Hinge. The women here love brothers, specifically American brothers. No joke. So don't worry about women. You will definitely eat. In fact, you will have so much women to deal with that you're gonna go crazy. You're gonna call up your homie and tell your homie that, yo, bro, come and get some of these women off me. It's too much. That's how easy it is for American brothers in the UK. In London specifically, London is an international city, so you got girls all around the world who come here to work, legal jobs, IT jobs, professional jobs, and who have been immersed into American culture. They want an American boyfriend, so they'll go for American guys. American guys are rare here, so all these women are going after any American dude they see. So the women here, you will do well with the women here. Let's talk about food. Okay, food is very important when you move to a different country, of course, because guess what? We all need food to survive, for energy, and the food needs to taste good. English food is not the best, which is why a lot of English people, they eat out. Takeaways are very popular here, and which is why in London we have a lot of international shops that sell international foods. So you have African shops, Nigerian shops that sell Nigerian food, Jamaican shops that sell Jamaican food. You got Indian shops that sell Indian food, Bangladeshi shops that sell Indian food, Arab shops that sell Arab foods, Polish shops that sell Polish foods. So it's different. It's international, and takeaways are very common in London because a lot of people just don't like English food. A lot of international people I meet tell me they hate English food, and they normally eat out, or they normally eat international foods from different countries. So be prepared for that. The food isn't too great, but if you know how to cook, you should do fine. You should be fine. I do suggest that you guys, if you don't know how to cook, learn how to cook, because takeaways are expensive. It's better to just to buy the ingredients and cook it yourself. That's my opinion. Now, moving on from food, I want to talk about rent. Rent in London is very expensive, as in any major city in the world. You can get by with rent by, having roommates and all that stuff. But some people don't like having roommates. They want to be by themselves, or they don't want too much roommates. So if that's the case, you will pay more money. But if you have a very high earning job, let's say in the 6 figures range and the high 5 figures range, you will easily be able to afford an apartment to rent by yourself. So rent is expensive. I do suggest that you come to London with some savings, just in case, just to, keep you on the ground, just have some funds to use, because rent can just tear apart, in your paycheck. It's a lot of rent here in London, just like it is in Los Angeles, California, New York, all these big cities. It's the same here in London too. So rent is expensive. People normally, live with roommates, or they come in from outside of London because it's much more cheaper there. Now, going on from, rent, nightlife. The nightlife in London is incredible. You will meet a lot of people, a lot of beautiful women, a lot of women who are checking for American brothers. You will have a great time. There are a lot of clubs in London, specifically in the East London area and the South London area, where a lot of professionals come there to party and to have a good time. So the nightlife in London is, crazy. It's good. It's interesting. There's always things, for you to do. You will meet new people. They will be intrigued that you're American. They will even buy you drinks because you're American. It's as simple as that. That's how, highly regarded English people see American people. So I feel that's important. I do feel like going out once in a while just to, clear your head, have fun, have a good time, meet beautiful women is a good thing to do. So these are the points where, could sway you to move to London, to consider moving to London, in my opinion. I do feel like if you're an American brother, you do consider moving to London. It's a good city. It's international. It's big. Now, women are very important, and you will have no problems with women here if you're Black American. You will have no problems here with women here in London if you're Black American. So this is my intel to you guys as to if you're thinking to moving to London. I do suggest you think about it very well. Look at your finances. Look at the industry you work in. Try and if you work for an international company, see if they have any London openings, and see if you can transfer to London. And that's how you get here and have a good time. I'm International Passport. Any questions you got, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or comment below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care. Peace.